Yeah, welcome back to ERWIN data modeler demo for the dimensional data modeling. So let me open ERWIN tool. So I will start with create a new model. Basically, we can create logical, physical model. So I will be creating a physical model for this. So I will be selecting the SQL Server database and the version and template by default. Let me click OK. The ERWIN interface is before you, and it is where we are going to build our dimensional model. You know, before you start building your dimensional model, you should have designed your analytical data store, analytical database. Okay, you should identify the fact table, and you should identify the dimension tables. You should identify the columns in the dimension table, and you will have an understanding how are you going to connect your dimension table with the fact table. What are the measures that you are going to have in the sales in the fact table? So in my case today, what I'm going to do is having a sales system where we have a fact table for the sales and dimension table for the store, sales type, employee, product, and the time. Now, time will have the date, week, month, year, weekly split, right? So you want to know how much was sold in a week, how much was sold in a month, how much was sold in a year, and things like that. So I am going to map this dimension model into the ERWIN tool. Let's see that. Okay, friends. So we are here in the ERWIN tool. You see the model is created by default. The model has a model 1. I would like to rename these to something relevant to us. So I will create model sales report. Okay, I can even give an author name, but I'm not interested. So let me click on the close. So the model is renamed to model sales report. What you need to start? You have to create tables. In order to create table, you can either use this left navigation, left menus. Here you can see tables. Okay. So I am here in a physical model design. So it is no more entity, it is tables. So I can right click on the table. There is a new option. I can add a new table. So basically, there is a table created, and it is named as E_8. But I can rename that. How can I right click? I can click on the name. Then I give as sales fact. Or you can say fact sales. Cool. So we have created the fact table. This is not added to our diagram. Of course, you can right click and have an option add to diagram. So that fact table is added to our diagram. Okay, fact sales table created. Okay, we have not added any columns yet. That we will do later on. But let's create the additional dimension table now. So how many dimension table we are expecting in this diagram? We are expecting 5 dimension table. One is store. Then we have the sales type. We have employee. We have product. And we have type. So is there any other way of creating table in this model? Yes, we have a menu. We can click on the table. We can again click on that canvas. That's one way of creating table. So I will name these as dim store. Okay. But I need to create another 4 more tables. Another easy way of creating table is click control and click on the menu. Then pressing the control, you place your click. Okay. We have another created. We have another table created. So we have created all the 5-dimension table. What else we need to do? Let's rename these tables. Okay. I will click and rename these as dim sales type. Okay. That is another dimension table. Then we have dim employees. Then we have another table for dim time. We will add columns later. Okay. And one more table we need to rename, that is dim product. ERWIN gives you multiple options, multiple ways of doing things. Okay. I can click on the table and rename. I can double click and use the editor. Okay. Let me use this as editor also, so you can get it right. So now I have, the structure, right? We have built the structure. So I place the fact table. I need more area. So let me expand this area. I will place this dim fact table in the center, sales type at the top. Then I will place the employee a little more towards the right. Then product. Okay, because we need to add the fields now. So properly arrange it. No, probably we may not be able to see those fields in the table, right? So far I hope you understand how to drag tables. Whenever we are creating a table in the diagram, it automatically adds to the model. And the naming convention for the tables. The dimension table starts with the dim, or fact table starts with fact. Yeah, let's see what is next. So in the dim table, so we will start adding fields or attributes to the table. Of course, there is no more attribute because I said this is a physical model. We are dealing with the table, so we call it as a columns or fields. Right? So adding the column, let's go to the column properties of the table. So right click on the table and use the column properties. Of course, you can do that same thing like expanding your table in the left pane. So if you say select store, so here you have many options, columns. You can new column, and basically you can rename the column into store ID. Okay, a new column is created, column store ID, but you have not mentioned the type of the column. So what will you do? So let's go to the column properties. So this table has one column, which is a store ID. So we can assign type for the column, like, we can say physical data type. What is a physical data type? It should be integer. Column store type is integer. So you can see all these domains. So let me go to int that I made as integer type. Of course, I want this column as primary key. I should choose the primary option here. So I have made this column as primary key. Let's see how this is now looking in the table. See, the store ID was present below, but when I change that column to the primary key, it has come to the primary key area. Of course, I should add some more columns. Okay, let me go to the column properties. I will add a new column. Here all comes with the default, right? So I will add store address, and again the data type can be worker, because I have connected to SQL Server, so it can show you the SQL Server data types. Okay, even I can mention the length. I can say 200 worker 200. It's not a primary key. It is not a foreign key. It is a column. Okay, I add one more column. So let me add additional columns. That is a store address. Then we have city. Again, let me go with the default. It's a character 18. Then I add another column. Is again region. That's also gives a character 18. Then I will go with the state, again the default type as char. I will have the last column as the country. So this is it. I will have only this many columns in this store. The store belongs to which region, which state, which country, and the store ID and store address. I think this is good enough. Yeah, my table is created. Okay, let me also adding the properties of other dimension table quickly. Yes, the last dimension table we are going to add is a time table. So in the time, what all things will come? Normally, we have a time ID. Time ID is again an integer column and is a primary key. Then we will add action date. That is again the date format. So we had to choose a date column from here. So there is, let me see what is the date column available. As I said, date and time we don't need. We can just go with the date. And let's have action week. Action week, basically it is an integer column. Which week of the month? Which week of the month? That is an integer column. Then we have action month. Action month. Again, action week is an integer. Action month is an integer. We have both action month, action week are integer. Time ID also integer. Then the last column is action year. Action year. Again, that is an integer. It's an integer. And we have action week day. Action week day, which is again a worker. I have just filled all the columns required for the dimension table. So now it is time for us to add columns to our fact table. The fact table you have, the fact table will have measurable aggregates and base foreign keys, right? So let me add a couple of columns for the fact table. I will select the column and add measurable columns. That is a price. What is a price? It's a decimal column. So I can choose a decimal. We can say decimal precision. Maybe we can say it is a we can say 8-digit and 2-digit precision. That's good. Then I will add one more column as quantity. Can say quantity. Again, what is the quantity? Also should be decimal. It's also decimal. I'll give the same precision. And so that's it for the time being. So have a look at this. So we have created the dimension tables and fact table. What is next? So when I was discussing about the dimension modeling, I mentioned about the star schema and the snowflake schema. In either case, what happens is like each dimension table is connected to the fact table using a primary foreign key relationship. So that's what we are going to do next. So we will relate the dimension table to the fact table using the primary and foreign key relationship. Let's see how that works in the ERWIN model. We can create relationship. There is identifying relationship and non-identifying relationship. I've already explained about the identifying relationship in one of the video. Let's try to do identifying relationship first, and let's understand the limitation of the identifying relationship and try to make it as a non-identifying relationship later on. So in the fact sales table, we do not have a business key or surrogate key. So once we associate the dimension tables with the fact table, we are expecting a unique key out of that combination, right? Let's do that. Let's go to an identify relationship. Let's connect the store table with the fact table. So what happens? The primary key of the store ID became the foreign key of the fact table, and that is a part of the primary key, right, of the fact sales. Let's do the same thing here also. Yeah, the time ID became the foreign key in the fact sales table. Again, I am going to connect the sales type. I am going to connect to the employee type. I am going to type the product type. Yes, now we have connected all the dimension table with our fact table. And look at this. We have got a composite primary key of the store ID, time ID, sales type, employee ID, and product ID. Let me rearrange it a bit so that you can see the star. Okay, so we are good with our first experiment. Now let us look at the challenges with this design. If a customer wants to buy same thing from the same store, same product, it won't be possible, right? Because it won't allow you to have it will violate the foreign key, right? If I do a second item purchase of the same thing, same day, same type, same employee, same product, it won't work. So ideally, having an identifying relationship will have some challenges. So better not to have this dimensional key as the foreign key, but we will create a surrogate key for the fact sales, and we will associate with non-identifying key, which gives you more flexibility to the his system. Let's do that. Okay, please understand the difference between identifying and non-identifying relationship. The problem which I was indicated about having all these primary keys as a foreign key, if someone wants to make a purchase for the same item on the same day, may not be possible because it will violate the foreign key constraint. So we will have to use a business key or surrogate key, and we will move these primary keys out of the primary key combination. Let's do that first. Okay, I am going to remove this relationship. Okay, I will create a new column for the sales fact table. I will create a sales number, a new column which is sales key. I will make this as an integer, then make this as a primary key. Then we click on close. So we have a primary key, a business key, or it is called a surrogate key for the sales. So now let me add the non-identifying relationship from the store ID to the fact sales. You can see that, of course, the relationship between the store and the sales. So I will add the similar non-identifying relationship from all the dimension keys. So you can see that. Let me rearrange it a bit. You can see now all this primary key has become a foreign key in the fact sales, but they are not part of the primary key. And this gives you the flexibility for the buyer to make any combination of purchase on that same day. Of course, you are seeing the notation. Okay, we can change the relationship notation. For that, let's go to the model properties, and you can see physical notation. Currently, it is IDEF1X. We can change it to information engineering. I think this is better and gives you much clarity. And if you go for data warehouse, you have another type of relationship and the notation. And we have also having something called a graph notation. So I think I would like to go with information engineering, which gives you more clarity on this side. Okay, I will close this. I hope you understood so far about the how the model fact table dimension model is created in the ERWIN. Yes, of course, we can do a lot of tweaking. I will do few of them for you. I can right click on this model. We can go to the properties. We have a lot of properties like in the table properties, like do you want to show the display column data type? Of course, if I want to show the column data types, of course, this is going to show you the column names and its data type. Then display the column domain. Basically the domain is, I have not created any custom domain, so it is inheriting from the default domain, so it doesn't look good. So let me just hide it. If you would like to show the display physical primary key designator, see, basically it is showing the primary key identification. Do you want the foreign key? Of course, I can choose the foreign key. It's already there. All the primary keys are displayed with an icon. Then do you want a dimensional icon? Okay, let's see what makes, when you apply the dimensional icon, let me close, I will show you. Like, you can see that the fact table has a fact table icon, and all the other dimension table has a diamond attached to that. The layout has much more clear and gives you more appealing. And there are many aesthetic sense we can bring for this model, especially if you would like to know, you want to have different color coding for the primary key or foreign key relationship. Of course, you can do that. You can select a column. Of course, you can change the color and so on. So you can inherit the color of the primary key of the dimension here in the foreign key in the cells, the fact table. So I'm not going to do much of that. I think this is how we are trying to understand about how to do a dimension modeling in the ERWIN tool. Of course, now from this, you can generate the SQL script, set the target database, then you can generate a script out of this. I'm not going to do that now. Maybe in the next session, we can work on that aspect too. Thank you very much for watching this video. I would really like to hear your feedback. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to know more about data analytics topics, please feel free to comment. Thank you. See you soon.